What should you really consider before handing over your hard-earned cash to someone? Lending money to friends or family can be a tricky situation, and it's essential to approach it with caution. You want to help those in need, but you also don't want to put yourself in a difficult financial spot. That's why it's crucial to ask the right questions before lending money to anyone. Lending money can be a kind gesture, but it can also lead to strained relationships if not handled properly. You've probably heard stories of people lending money to friends or family, only to never see it again. This can damage relationships and leave you feeling frustrated and disappointed. To avoid this, it's vital to have an open and honest conversation with the person you're considering lending money to. Asking the right questions can help you assess the risk involved and make a more informed decision. It's not just about handing over cash, it's about understanding the other person's financial situation and their ability to repay you. By asking the right questions, you can protect yourself and your relationship with the borrower. This is especially important if you're considering lending a large amount of money. Before you lend money to anyone, take a step back and think about what you're getting yourself into. Consider the potential consequences of not being repaid and how it could affect your relationship with the borrower. It's better to have an uncomfortable conversation up front than to deal with the fallout later on. By being cautious and asking the right questions, you can avoid potential pitfalls and make a more informed decision. What do you need the money for? This is the first question you should ask when someone asks to borrow money from you. Understanding the purpose of the loan is essential for assessing the risk involved. Are they using it to cover an emergency expense, or is it for something more discretionary? The answer to this question can help you determine whether the loan is for a legitimate purpose or if it's just a want rather than a need. The reason for the loan can also help you understand the borrower's financial situation. Are they struggling to make ends meet, or are they simply looking to finance a lifestyle upgrade? By understanding the purpose of the loan, you can get a better sense of the borrower's financial priorities and whether they're likely to repay you. This information can also help you determine whether you're comfortable lending money for that specific purpose. When someone asks to borrow money, it's easy to get caught up in the emotional aspect of the situation. You want to help the person in need, and you don't want to seem uncaring or unsupportive. However, it's essential to separate your emotions from the decision-making process. By asking questions and understanding the purpose of the loan, you can make a more rational decision that's based on the facts rather than emotions. Understanding the purpose of the loan can also help you determine whether you're willing to lend money at all. If the borrower is using the money for a legitimate emergency expense, you may be more willing to lend than if they're using it for a discretionary purchase. By asking questions and understanding the purpose of the loan, you can make a more informed decision that's right for you and your financial situation. How do you plan to repay me? This is the second question you should ask when someone asks to borrow money from you. Having a clear repayment plan is essential for avoiding potential disputes and ensuring that you get your money back. The borrower should be able to provide you with a specific plan for how they intend to repay the loan, including the amount they'll pay each month and the timeline for repayment. A clear repayment plan can help you understand the borrower's financial situation and their ability to repay the loan. If the borrower is unsure or evasive about their repayment plan, it may be a sign that they're not taking the loan seriously or that they're not capable of repaying it. By asking about the repayment plan, you can get a better sense of the borrower's financial responsibility and whether they're likely to follow through on their commitments. Having a clear repayment plan can also help you avoid potential conflicts with the borrower. If you don't have a clear understanding of how the borrower plans to repay the loan, it can lead to misunderstandings and disagreements down the line. By having a clear plan in place, you can avoid these conflicts and ensure that both parties are on the same page. When discussing the repayment plan, be sure to get specific details from the borrower. Ask them to provide you with a specific timeline for repayment, including the amount they'll pay each month and the total number of payments. You should also discuss what happens if the borrower misses a payment or is unable to repay the loan in full. By having a clear understanding of the repayment plan, you can protect yourself and ensure that you get your money back. Have you borrowed from anyone else? This is the third question you should ask when someone asks to borrow money from you. Understanding whether the borrower has other debts or financial obligations can help you assess their ability to repay the loan. If the borrower has already borrowed from multiple sources, it may be a sign that they're overextended or that they're not managing their finances effectively. Borrowing from multiple sources can increase the risk of default, as the borrower may struggle to keep up with multiple payments. By asking about other debts or financial obligations, you can get a better sense of the borrower's overall financial situation and whether they're likely to repay the loan. This information can also help you determine whether you're willing to lend money to someone who already has significant debt. Asking about other debts or financial obligations can also help you understand the borrower's financial habits. If the borrower has a history of borrowing from multiple sources, it may be a sign that they're not managing their finances effectively or that they're living beyond their means. By understanding the borrower's financial habits, you can make a more informed decision about whether to lend money. If the borrower has borrowed from other sources, you may want to consider whether you're comfortable lending money to someone who already has significant debt. You may want to discuss alternative options, such as helping the borrower develop a budget or find ways to reduce their expenses. By understanding the borrower's overall financial situation, you can make a more informed decision about whether to lend money and how to structure the loan. What happens if you can't repay me? This is the fourth question you should ask when someone asks to borrow money from you. Discussing potential consequences upfront can help you understand the borrower's level of commitment to repaying the loan. If the borrower is unwilling to discuss what happens if they can't repay the loan, it may be a sign that they're not taking the loan seriously or that they're not planning to repay it. Having a clear understanding of the potential consequences can help you assess the risk involved and make a more informed decision. You should discuss what happens if the borrower misses a payment or is unable to repay the loan in full. Will they be able to negotiate a payment plan or provide collateral to secure the loan? By understanding the potential consequences, you can protect yourself and ensure that you are not leaving yourself vulnerable to financial loss. Discussing potential consequences can also help you understand the borrower's level of responsibility and whether they're willing to take ownership of their financial obligations. If the borrower is unwilling to discuss potential consequences or seems evasive about their obligations, it may be a sign that they're not responsible with their finances. By having a clear understanding of the potential consequences, you can make a more informed decision about whether to lend money. When discussing potential consequences, be sure to get specific details from the borrower. Ask them to provide you with a plan for what happens if they are unable to repay the loan, including any potential collateral or payment plans. You should also discuss what happens if the borrower files for bankruptcy or is unable to repay the loan due to unforeseen circumstances. By having a clear understanding of the potential consequences, you can protect yourself and ensure that you are not left with significant financial losses. Are you comfortable with a written agreement? This is the fifth question you should ask when someone asks to borrow money from you. Having a written agreement can help protect both parties and ensure that everyone is on the same page. A written agreement should include the terms of the loan, including the amount borrowed, the interest rate, and the repayment plan. Having a written agreement can help prevent misunderstandings and ensure that both parties are clear on their obligations. It can also provide a clear record of the loan and the terms of the agreement, which can be useful if there are any disputes or issues that arise during the repayment process. By having a written agreement, you can protect yourself and ensure that you are not left with significant financial losses. A written agreement can also help you avoid potential conflicts with the borrower. If you have a clear understanding of the terms of the loan and the borrower's obligations, you can avoid misunderstandings and ensure that both parties are on the same page. By having a written agreement, you can protect yourself and ensure that the loan is repaid according to the terms of the agreement. When creating a written agreement, be sure to include all the necessary details, including the amount borrowed, the interest rate, and the repayment plan. You should also include any potential consequences for late payments or default, as well as any provisions for early repayment. By having a clear and comprehensive written agreement, you can protect yourself and ensure that the loan is repaid according to the terms of the agreement. To summarize, before lending money to anyone, it's essential to ask the right questions and have a clear understanding of the terms of the loan. By asking about the purpose of the loan, the repayment plan, other debts or financial obligations, potential consequences, and written agreements, you can protect yourself and ensure that you're making an informed decision. I want to hear from you in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, and we'll catch you in the next video.